Well, it's a lovely August afternoon in Attridgeville. Anticipation abounds ahead of another day of DStv Premiership drama. And so for the second time in just under a fortnight, SuperSport United and Lamontfort Golden Arrows come face to face. A place in the semi-finals of the MTN8 at stake when last they met. Today, 3 DStv Premiership points, the victor's prize. And incidentally, Matsatsansa enjoy home comforts for the first time in 2021-22 after travelling to the mother city to face Cape Town City in their league opener, a game that ended 0-0. And there's one change to report from the side that battled the Citizens over the weekend. Tamsanqa Kabuza must content himself with a place on the bench as Ikram Reyners is drafted in to partner Bradley Grobler up front. As SuperSport's Bafana duo, Sipho Mpule and Tabo Mokoena will want to put their best foot forward in front of the national team coach. Getting the last warm-ups out of the way for SuperSport United, and Teko Modise is alongside me. Will run through the formation.
Yeah, Grant, you see with SuperSport working together 4-4-2. Luckily now that Brad Grobler now being back as a main of the strikers, I think with Reyners, what he brings into the team is that pace, and of course they were looking for that creativity with Mbule and Mokoena in the midfield.
Kaitano Tembo back in the dugout for SuperSport United after serving a suspension in the cup game in the opening league obligation. Andre Arendse was overseeing proceedings in his absence. Looking at Arrows, who make just a couple of alterations from their win over the team of choice. Nkobeko Dlamini makes way for Tabani Zuke in midfield, while Sponiso Onto is rewarded for his goal off the bench, starting in place of Lindo Mchali. Gozinati Sipisi, man of the match last time out, will seek to make another big contribution in the heart of defense alongside the veteran Matiani. What do you make of this lineup? Very consistent for Arrows. Yeah,
I mean, with the Golden Arrows, I think we all know the consistency that they have. I think there's one thing that is very interesting with Golden Arrows is their defense. With Sibisi Matiani, very solid at the back from last season. And today they have to compete against Bradley Grobler, who is the top goal scorer for last season. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they handle it.
It's Zuke who's won it well. Gumede is dropped deep, dispenses that one out wide. Looking for a route forward through Tonto. Makes the more pragmatic pass to find Zuke, who in turn has located Pele excellently. Brilliant job to skip around Weber, and he's first that one into the side netting.
Great first touch there from Pele, you know, advancing into that space. He does everything correct, but it's just that it gets let down by the technique of the crossing. But you can see that they find more joy on the left-hand side where he's so energetic, and Sibia, it allows Sibia to come into the midfield and add those numbers in the midfield to create a lot of havoc, especially for Golden Arrows on the left-hand side.
Problem now. Lovely ball to find Weber, who skips back inside. Referee not interested in the pleas from SuperSport United, but an example of what the hosts are capable of doing. Dwandwe. Matiani now. Zuke has just dropped in between the two centre halves. So sling that ball forward when he does spot an available teammate. Ronaldo showing a little bit of patience until this is launched into the path of Gumede. One here by Mokoena of SuperSport United.
With Zuki, I think you said it in the earlier stages that he's one player that also can snuck in and play as a centre-back. What they do is when they're in position of the ball, coming back, making that line of 3, pushing their full-backs higher up, adding numbers. So that forces SuperSport United to defend deep, and that creates a whole lot of gaps in the midfield. and SuperSport needs to at least readjust a little bit, make sure that in the midfield they're compact.
Fleurs back to Ronwen Williams. Ronwen Williams will likely be first choice for Bafana Bafana when they contest their 2022 World Cup qualifiers, the first of them against Zimbabwe in Harare. That's not this coming weekend, but the international break over the course of early September. Their match against Zimbabwe on the 3rd of September. Then they come back home for a match against Ghana. Is in the squad with AmaZulu's Velimoto and Kaizer Chiefs' Bruce Vuma. So look at what Bradley Grobler was able to carve out earlier for Weber. Anything in that? So we'll get a closer look here, Teko.
Yeah, you look at Weber, they're trying to make sure that, get past Sibisi, and Sibisi being one of the key members defensively for Coronel, make sure that, the tackle is tight, the timing of the tackle is very perfect. But those are creating opportunities for SuperSport. Here
is Weber, though. Oh, he rides the challenge of Ndwandwe brilliantly and then clips it in towards Grobler. Ikram Reyners has picked it up. Grobler with a little back heel. Reyners loops that into the hands of Mngwana.
It's a great combination from Reyners and Grobler there, but you can see that with Coronel giving them less space, they tend to go for that long ball where Bradley Grobler is also dangerous. What's important as well is Reyners now from the left-hand side coming into that midfield to come and have that combination play. Back heel there from Grobler there. Fortunately, didn't connect it very well.
Ndungisi Dube has injured himself in his efforts to try and thwart Reyners here. And in fact, it might have been his contribution that took a little bit of pace off that effort from the former Stellenbosch man. Dube getting patched up behind the Arrows goal. Now want to fling him back on as quickly as possible, being treated by Sean Croxford, and indeed he is fit to go. Lovely steal there by Zuke. He's done tremendously well into the path of Pule Mori. Pule Mori driving towards the byline. Well, he beat Mokoena, all ends up, and then stabbed it straight at Ronwen Williams.
And with Golden Arrows with this a chance here with Modi being one of the creative midfielders, making sure that he commits the Mokoena inside the box there. But one thing that lets them down is those crosses inside the box, being able to find one of the strikers or find one of the 80 midfielders there to be able to tap in. They're creating a lot of chances from Nklapo's side.
Actually, Fleurs scored an own goal in 2019-20's reverse fixture, a game that Arrows won 1-0. There's Bradley Grobler, nods it down brilliantly. Oh, that's just over. A superb move from SuperSport United. They're just not capable of applying the finishing touch, courtesy of Sipombule.
That's a great move there, stealing the ball and making sure that you play that forward pass. Mokoena, you're thinking that he's going to pull a trigger there, playing a pinpoint pass to Grobler there. Luckily, Mbule didn't hit the target, but that's where you want to be. When the striker moves away from that goal-scoring position as a number 10, get into those positions, that's where you're going to score goals.
He's allowing them to hold the ball, at least for the time being. There'll be some pressure applied now by Michael Kumede, and they've escaped down this right-hand flank. Ikram Reyners. And still Reyners goes on, puts it on a plate, and it is in! Well, it took a while. It bypassed two before it made its way to the feet of Teboho Mokoena, who slammed that one past a helpless Mngwana.
That's a great ball to Reyners. I think that's what he's in this team for, coming in and using that space and that speed very, very well, dragging Sibisi out of his position to making sure that you've got only one centre back in the midfield. That's a great pass from Nklapo. You see where Sibisi is now. That's when you don't want your centre back there, but great ball there from Reyners there, and a good finish from Mokoena, making sure that you hit the target using the right part of the foot.
However, Grobler both waiting, but it was Mokoena arriving late who put that beyond the reach of the goalkeeper. Enjoyed his most prolific season last term, got 4 league goals. Already having found the back of the net this early into the campaign, he'll be hoping that he can improve on that particular mark season upon season. It's been a good old tussle with 41% of the play concentrated in the middle of the park, but there's been plenty at both ends, and now we are with the Montfort Golden Arrows on the attack. Wonderful cross! Met at the back post, but not nearly firmly enough from Dwandwe. What a ball from Sabia, though.
Yeah, that's a great ball from Sevilla, making sure he puts it on his right. You know, Ndwandwe making sure, you know, he needs to connect the ball properly there. I think he closed his eyes there, but also, you know, I think that's the ball that you need to connect there. I think Basera made sure that he doesn't get that free header. He's still fighting for the ball, but when you have so much time on the box, you need to make sure that you connect the ball and redirect it on the other direction.
So Dwandwe puts it in. Again, it's Luke Fleurs with the header away, only as far as Pule Mori, clearly on his outside. Mori's cross is cleared. Drops for Dube on the right. Little exchange of passes. Now Dube with options to pick out, and it does fall to Tonto after the initial clearance was not particularly well executed, but he in turn fluffed his line for the shot.
I think with Dube here, you're having so much opportunity. You know, he tried to squeeze it there, where you're forcing Williams to make a save, and if he make a save, he saves it from Sibia to come in and finish that. You know, when taking too long to make a decision at that type of an area, you're just shooting yourself on the foot, because now SuperSport are back into defense and they're making sure that you don't find anybody to pass. Correa was trying to force the way out, the way inside the box there with Dube, making sure that he gets into those positions. It's just that it was one thing that's letting Coronaros down lately. It's those crosses inside the box. They don't find somebody to go and finish those balls.
So that minute of additional time has elapsed, and it's a goal from Teboho Mokoena, who did score in a losing cause against Le Montfort Golden Arrows last season, who has netted the only goal of the game so far, although there have been opportunities for the likes of Ikram Reyners and Bradley Grobler, who've combined brilliantly at times. Tabani Zuke not installed as a centre-half today, but rather in a holding midfield position. He has acquitted himself well, but he has been busy, as have all the players out on the park. It's been a rough and tumble affair, and it's very exciting up to this point. So that goal from Mokoena separates the two. It's SuperSport 1, Arrows 0. The Lucas Moripe Stadium in Atteridgeville, where host SuperSport United hold a slender 1-0 lead over Le Montfort Golden Arrows. SuperSport United seeking to put an end to a 6-game winless streak in all competitions against these opponents and a 3-game losing streak in the league. Arrows trying to claw their way back into the game have introduced Knox Mutizwa for Michael Gomede. Zimbabwean Mutizwa probably looking to prove a point, having missed out on the national team squad for a upcoming qualifier against South Africa. And Mchali has come on for Duduzo Sibia, a 23-year-old from Mapumulo, who started the last game against Maritzburg United. That was one of 2 changes that were implemented for this game, but he is on the field for the second 45 as Arrows seek to keep their positive results or positive run against SuperSport United alive. And rejoined in commentary by Teko Modise, and well, there were certainly moments from the side that trail that indicate that they are more than up for this and more than capable of getting something from this game, but they are behind.
Yeah, they show that they are capable, but this is a side also that doesn't give up. They have tendencies to come back into the game and be able to win the game. You can see also with the changes, those are direct changes, you know, bringing in Lucas Moripe, knowing that you want to use that speed behind SuperSport's defense, and that they want to come back into the game. And with SuperSport, no changes, you can tell that they're very happy. Coach Kaitana Tembe is very happy with how things are proceeding.
There was a long spells, and that frequently occurred where SuperSport United found themselves under a lot of pressure. By the same token, though, there were several examples of occasions where they were able to escape the Arrows press or bypass it, and a lovely exchange of passes in one instant. Saw a chance for Ikram Reyners materialize, and it wasn't the only example of exemplary one-touch play from SuperSport.
Yeah, to bypass that pressing group from Golden Arrows, once you bypass that, you have an opportunity to be able to be more creative because you've got numbers there. But they struggled a little bit, especially in the first minutes of the game. They struggled to bypass that, but once they do bypass that, they do create opportunities to score.
Where do you draw the line, though, between being cautious and persisting with that particular tactic? Because you can certainly point out instances earlier in the game as Arrows get forward with Mutizu, a lovely exchange of passes. And Ndwandwe has just let the ball run away from him there.
What a missed opportunity there. I think Ndwandwe mistimed the ball, misjudged the ball, the bounce of the ball. You know, he wanted the ball to probably to drop just in front of him so he can play that one touch there, but he still looks at the person inside the box and be able to watch the ball as well, and the ball he'll get the better of him. Look at the pass there from Modi. Here's Ndwandwe, expecting him to hit that ball first time, mistiming of the ball, and then the missed opportunity for Golden Arrows to get that equalizer.
A big chance squandered. Krobla with a brilliant ball and a wonderful goal for Sipho Mbule. And SuperSport United's pair of Bafana midfielders have both scored, but credit to Krobla for that exquisite assist.
SuperSport had an opportunity like this in the first half where Berkeley Krobla headed back from Mbule to finish and didn't hit the target. Now Krobla again coming again to assist with a beautiful pass from Mbule. Mbule making sure that he gets behind the defender, making sure that he creates that space for himself to be able to score that goal. This is a perfect combination of how SuperSport initially plays, with Krobla out wide, making sure that he drifts on the side, and Mbule coming in between the two defenders. That makes it very, very difficult for Taylor to do anything about it.
Mbule with the 10 on his back, contributing a goal in what is his second league game of the season. Lungwana beaten, quarter of an hour to go. SuperSport United gained their cushion about 20 minutes ago now, and still they have maintained it. Ronwen Williams seeking back-to-back clean sheets in the league. A good departure from their recent record of losing at least one of their first two games in the league over the last 5 or 6 seasons. SuperSport United. Charlie. Clever little exchange of passes. Opportunity here for Tonto from a tight angle. Now looking to add to the goal. He scored against Maritzburg just a few days ago. This time can't squeeze it in.
But a great interplay there. We'll see now shortly. This is a foul from Modi, making sure that Weber doesn't get that, counter attack. And then you look at the play from Golden Arrows, very patient, very tricky. They're playing the final pass there. But you expect Lucas Moripe to run in front of the goalkeeper. He's lurking there on the outside of the post there. That's what you want the striker to be, just there in front there, because you cannot expect the ball to be passing the goalkeeper there.
Although they have recruited Rebecca Dlamini, who played the last 2 seasons at Amatax in the Gladys Championship, after starring in varsity football for couple of seasons. Yes, Tommy Gabuza looking to wrap it up, which he does with the plum through the legs of the keeper, and Tamsanqa Gabuza has put this game to bed.
That's a celebration for you.
Well, once upon a time in the national team, Hugo Bruce likes what he's seen from the veteran.
Yeah, Pasero them, you know, Gabuza, what he does is make sure that he gets onto the line of the ball. That first touch that sets him apart, and he makes sure that he's strong. And this is what happens as well from Garanaros in the first goal, where Sibisi couldn't win that ball. Now it's Matiane couldn't win that ball. Making you tackling one of your last men, then making sure that Gabuza was very calm, putting that ball into the back of the net. But those are the two mistakes that Golden Arrows have considered the goal from, where it's 1v1, you tackling when you're your last man in defense.
An ice-cool finish for Gabuza against the team where he made his name. Zuke gets it back from Motizwa. They'll go again inside the final minute of regulation time here at the Lucas Moripe Stadium. The visitors, Le Mans for Golden Arrows. Oh, they want to add something to the score sheets, and they get an opportunity here from the penalty spot. And Hlapo pleading his innocence and body checked Pule Modi, or at least that's how it appeared. He still can't believe the call has gone against him.
Look at Modi there. I think this is what we've been doing most of the time in the game, and Hlapo, they're pushing him, and the referee was at the right angle, at the right position to be able to see exactly how Hlapo fouled Modi there.
Well, this will be nothing more than a consolation should it be converted. Ronwen Williams would love to preserve his clean sheet. In the meantime, SuperSport United making some changes. Khapi Moralo and Moses Waiswa will be introduced. And first in is the Ugandan, Moses Waiswa, coming in for Sipombule. Also have Khapi Moralo, the young development player, coming in for Jesse Don. Moralo's only ever made appearances off the bench, just one last season, in fact. So off the bench, Spamandla Sabelo looking to score for the second game running, and Sabelo slots that away, sends it straight down the middle of the goal, and having come in to the season, having never scored a senior goal, he now has 2 and 2.
You see the way he took that penalty, so much confidence, you know, knowing that Rowan, you know, is good in penalties and going straight through the middle. It's very, very, very courageous, and it's very confident, especially after scoring on the previous game, coming into this game, making sure that he gave that consolidation goal from Golden Arrows.
A 23-year-old from the Arrows development has been working clearly on his set pieces and penalties. Is paying dividends, this time in a losing cause though. The last time it was the de facto winner with Maritzburg able to claw back a late goal through Brendan Theron. So his free kick goal proving to be very critical in the end. Today it's merely a consolation. Well, he hasn't quite got with the pace of the game yet, Khapi Moralo. Max Matizwa appears as, well, for a moment it appeared as though he had pulled rank. This one potentially a little too far around to have a direct hit on goal. And it has been clipped into the box. Imagine what a nervy finish that would have set up had they scored. Would have probably had 30 seconds to a minute left to try and equalize.
Yeah, and I think with Golden Arrows, they should have taken a chance, especially in this free kick. They're being finding very difficult into winning those aerial balls. Now Buhle Mkhwana's are being introduced with the aerial strength also in that box. I think you do have free kick specialists. Try to hit the target, and play from there.
Tough day at the office for Siema and Kenyeza. They have to pick themselves up now for the MTN8 semi-final against Mamelodi Sundowns. SuperSport United put them to the sword here in Attridgeville. Tamigabuza putting gloss on the scoreline with SuperSport United's third. Devon Mokoena had netted the opener. Sipho Mbule, his goal sandwiched between those two. Sfiso Mlungwana beaten 3 times today. They got a consolation through Spamandla Sabelo after Pule Mori was brought down in the box late on, but the damage had already been done. And the Montfort Golden Arrows again fail to win their opening 2 matches. They've never done it in the PSL era, and that trend persists. They have been thoroughly beaten, having come here last season and earned a famous 1-0 victory at the Lucas Moripe Stadium. SuperSport United exact their revenge for that and the MTN8 quarter-final defeat with a 3-1 win.